Blog Talk Radio.
Solomon Nimal, Arsu, Befite, These are also the proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, copied out.
Salamta Beteseb. Greetings and welcome, family, to this special episode of Wisdom Wednesday with the Rastamandem here on Discipleship Radio.
Milk don't stop. Let the newsmen write what they wanna write. Let the wicked believe what they wanna believe. Jaja bring forth honey, don't stop. No, Jaja bring forth milk and honey, don't stop. Let the sufferers be always strong, and give dreadnoughty the power to be true and strong. Jaja bring forth honey, don't stop. No, Jaja bring forth milk and honey, don't stop. No, no, no. Shower me with love. Ooh, yeah, yeah. We don't care for Dane, no job. We don't care for Dane, no job. No, Jaja bring forth honey, don't stop. Jaja bring forth milk and honey, don't stop. Let the wicked believe what they wanna believe, and give dreadnoughty the power to be true and strong. Jaja bring forth honey, don't stop. No, Jaja bring forth milk and honey, don't stop. Bring it on, yeah. Oh, bring it, bring it, bring it, bring it, come on. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, bring it on, yeah. Ooh, Jaja bring forth honey, don't stop.
Jah Rastafari, give it and rain to the heart of fire night. Jah Almighty, just a passing glance was all I had of Rastafari faith. Just a passing glance was all I had. Oh yeah. Just a passing touch of freedom I felt, moving in my soul, and it gives me the feeling that I'm gonna be free. Oh yeah. The people did rejoice to hear of the Father's word. I stay with him in the sky. Was not a thousand years. It was a passing glance. That's all I had after Rastafari faith. It was a passing glance, was all I had. Oh yeah. Just a passing touch of freedom I felt, moving in my soul, and it gives me the feeling that I'm gonna be free. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just a passing glance was all I had of Rastafari faith. Just a passing glance was all I had. Oh yeah. Just a passing touch of freedom I felt, moving in my soul, and it gives me the feeling that I'm gonna be free. Oh yeah. The people did rejoice to hear of the Father's word. I stay with him in the night. Was like 1,000 years. It was a passing glance. That's all I had. Across the far faith. It was a passing glance. That's all I had. Oh a passing touch of freedom I felt moving in my soul, and it gives me the feeling that I'm gonna be free. Oh yeah, so free, so free, so free.
Sabbatical study, this I Rastafari sabbatical study for this Shabbat strong. And here, here, at the Rebbe, the fourth Aliyah for this Shabbat. Here we pick up with fourth book of Moses, the Hebrew book of Numbers, called Numbers, picking up here for the Rebi'i Aliyah, offering up an Asfaw for this Shabbat, the alotekha. Here at the 15th verse, Numbers 9 and 15 for the Rebi'i Aliyah. Uwa biyoma hakima eta ha mishkana ksa hey anana eta ha mishkan le ohela ha edut u ba ereva yihye Allah ha mishkan k mar'e eish Ada Boker. Here for the Rebi'i, the fourth Aliyah, here at Numbers chapter 9, verse 15, the order of the host, the guiding cloud. And on the day that the tabernacle was reared up, the cloud covered the tabernacle, namely the tent of testimony. The cloud covered Ha-Mishkan, namely the tent of testimony, the Ohel Ha-Edut. And at evening, there was upon the tabernacle, as it were, the appearance of fire until the morning, ad boker. So it was always. The cloud covered it by day, and the appearance of fire, by night. And when the cloud, the Anan, was taken up from the tabernacle, then after that the Bnei Yisrael, the children, the sons of Israel, journeyed. And in the place, the Makom, where the Anan, the cloud, abode, there the Bnei Yisrael, the sons, the children of Yisrael, pitched their tents. At the command of the Yahweh, he who be, the Bnei Yisrael journey. And at the command of Yod Hey Weh Hey, he who be, they pitched at the mouth. Al-fi, Yahweh, at the fee, the pie. Al-fi, Yahweh, at the mouth of the Yahweh, the Bnei Yisrael journey. And We'alpi Yahweh, We'alfi Yahweh. And at the mouth of the Yahweh they pitched, as long as the cloud Ha'anan abode upon the tabernacle, they rested in their tents. And when the cloud tarried long upon the tabernacle many days, then the Bnei Yisrael, the sons, the children of Yisrael, kept the charge of the Yahweh and journeyed not. And so it was when Ha'anan, when the cloud was a few days upon the tabernacle, according to the commandment, the mouth of the Yahweh, they abode in their tents. And according to the mouth, the commandment of he who be, who he 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 be, according to the commandment of he who be, who he be, they abode in their tents, and according to the commandments, the mouth of he who be, who he be, they journey. And so it was when the cloud abode from evening to the morning, and that the cloud Ha'anan was taken up in the morning, then they journeyed, whether it was by day or by night, that Ha'anan, the cloud, was taken up, they journeyed, or whether it were 2 days or a month, a moon, or a shana, a year, that Ha'anan, the cloud, tarried upon the tabernacle, remaining thereon, the Bnei Yisrael abode in their tents, and journeyed not. But when it was taken up, they journeyed at the commandment, at the mouth, al-pi Yahweh, al-fi Yahweh, at the mouth of Jehovah. They rested in their tents, and at the mouth, the commandment, al-pi, al-fi Yahweh, at the mouth of Jehovah, they journeyed. They kept the charge of the Yahweh at the commandment, al-pi Yahweh, al-fi Yahweh, b'yad Moshe, at the commandment, the mouth of the Yahweh, by the yad, the hand of Moshe, the hand of Moses. Fourth book of Moshe, Hebrew book, that is called Numbers. Here, Numbers chapter 10, the order of the host. The 19th item, the silver assembly trumpets. And the Yahweh spake to Moshe, Lamor, saying, make thee 2 trumpets of silver, of a whole piece shalt thou make them, that thou mayest use them for the calling of the assembly, and for the journeying of the camps. And when they shall blow with them, all the assembly shall assemble themselves to the eye, at the patach, the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, the ohel moed, the tent of meeting, of the appointment. And if they blow but with one trumpet, then the princes, which are the heads, the nasim, hanasim, the princes, which are the roshei, the rases of the thousands of Yisrael, shall gather themselves to the eye. When ye all blow an alarm, then the camps that lie on the east parts shall go forward. When ye blow an alarm the second time, then the camps that lie on the south side shall take their journey. They shall blow an alarm for their journeys. But when the aggregation is to be gathered together, ye all shall blow, but ye all shall not sound an alarm. And the sons of Aharon, of Aaron, the priests, Kohanim, shall blow with the trumpets, and they shall be to you for an ordinance, forever, throughout your generations. And if ye all go to war in your land against the enemy that oppresseth, rephrase that, downpresseth you, then ye all shall blow an alarm with the trumpets, and ye all shall be remembered, lifnei Yahweh Elohim, before he who he be, your Elohim, and ye all shall be saved from your enemies. Also in the day of your gladness and in your solemn days and in the beginning of your months, your moons, ye all shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings and over the sacrifices of your shalamim, peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before your Elohim. Ani Yahweh Elohim. Sabbatical study, this I Rastafari sabbatical study for this Shabbat Strong. Shabbat Strong. Shabbat Strong.
One who have left very important words tonight, even concerning the most important issues facing us right now. The relatedness of the nation, the relatedness of the families of the earth, the Hebrew people who went through all the different nations and became the dispersing of the diaspora. And the coming together now is very, very important, and it must be sincere and genuine. So as the Old Testament says, with those who have grown in the house of Israel, eat not strangers among the house of Israel, and keep the traditions of Israel, and keep the faith of Israel, and keep the covenant of Israel. The King of Israel. Blessed Lord. But we was with him from the first time. That is why we know him. Yeah.
Defender, just a defender, just a defender, a defender of the street, but the wicked are campaign aside for my game. He is plotting long like a funeral chain, setting up what tell them lies out straight. What you live from official, how the message complain. Defender of the knowledge and faith. Again, a king, Selassie, I diverse, I hail. As a defender on the way. Shining star, galaxy of split XL. Origin sped backward, Negro insane. Right up in them ambience and dying game. Just a defender, just a defender. Shoot with the puncture in the lightning ray. Economic punching out your of survival game. There's a vicious passive aggressive city looking well tamed, and stretch out onto Zion, Ethiopia. Arming arm with arms in the emperor name. Recessional shall not lamb to the slaughter again. Waiting for the song after death. Know the rumor, the rain. Just an defender.
I woman I talk of John the Baptist, yeah, I talk of Joshua. John Psalm 69 verse 4, yeah. John Psalm 69 verse 5, yeah. John 30 and 31 of 69 Psalm, yeah. I'm a defender. I'm a defender of Zion, yeah. And I defend the humble Zion, still of the I know she's the God.
Salamta Beteseb. Greetings and welcome, family, to this special episode of Wisdom Wednesday with the Rastamandem here on Discipleship Radio.
מזמור צד ד' אל נקמות אדוני, אל נקמות הופיע, הנשא שופט הארץ, השב גמול על גאים. עד מתי רשעים אדוני, עד מתי רשעים יעלוזו, יביעו ידברו עתק, יתאמרו כל פועלי אבן. עמך אדוני ידכאו, ונחלתך יענו, אלמנה וגר יהרוגו, ויתומים ירצחו. ויאמרו לא יראה יה, ולא יבין אלוהי יעקב. בינו בוערים בעם, וכסילים מתי תשכילו. הנוטע אוזן הלא ישמע, אם יוצר עין הלא יביט. היוסר גויים הלא יוכיח, המלמד אדם דעת. אדוני יודע מחשבות אדם, כי הם הבל. אשרי הגבר אשר תייסרנו יה, ומתורתך תלמדנו. להשקיט לו מימי רע, עד יקרא לרשע שחת. כי לא יתוש אדוני עמו, ונחלתו לא יעזוב. כי עד צדק ישוב משפט, ואחריו כל ישרי לב. מי יקום לי עם מרעים, מי יתייצב לי עם פועלי אבן. לולא אדוני עזרת לי, כמעט שכנה דומה נפשי. אם אמרתי מה תרגלי, חסדך אדוני יסעדני. ברוב שר אפי בקרבי, תנחומך ישעשעו נפשי. היי חברך כיסא אבות, יוצר עמל עלי חוק. יגודו על נפש צדיק, ודם נקי ירשיעו. ויהי אדוני לי למשגב, ואלוהי לצור מחסי. וישב עליהם את עונם, וברעתם יצמיתם, יצמיתם אדוני אלוהינו, 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 אלוהינו,
Yes. Shalom, Chaverim. Shalom. Here for the fourth day service, the podcast here. Rastafari Wisdom Wednesday here, the fourth day of the Shabua. That right there, but Ivrit in the Hebrew. We have the evening psalm according to the royal order of Ethiopian Hebrew, so the fourth day, Psalm 94 in the Hebrew. Here, English, wise. Yes, I. Psalm.
Psalm 93. O Lord God, to whom vengeance belongeth, O God, to whom vengeance belongeth, show thyself. Lift up thyself, thou judge of the earth. Render a reward to the proud. Lord, how long shall the wicked triumph? How long shall they utter and speak hard things, and all the workers of iniquity boast themselves? They break in pieces thy people, O Lord, and afflict thine heritage. They slay the widow and the stranger, and murder the fatherless. Yet they say, the Lord shall not see, neither shall the God of Jacob regard it. Understand, ye brutish among the people, and ye fools, when will ye be wise? He that planted the ear, shall he not hear? He that formed the eye, shall he not see? He that chastiseth the heathen, shall not he correct? He that teacheth men knowledge, shall not he know? The Lord knoweth the thoughts of man, that they are vanity. Blessed is the man whom thou chastenest, O Lord, and teachest him out of thy law, that thou mayest give him rest from the days of adversity, until the pit be digged for the wicked. For the Lord will not cast off his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance. But judgment shall return unto righteousness, and all the upright in heart shall follow it. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? Unless the Lord had been my help, my soul had almost dwelt in silence. When I said, my foot slippeth, thy mercy, O Lord, held me up. In the multitude of my thoughts within me, thy comforts delight my soul. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which framest mischief by a law? They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous, and condemn the innocent blood. But the Lord is my defense. My God is the rock of my refuge. And he shall bring upon them their own iniquity, and shall cut them off in their own wickedness. Yea, the Lord our God shall cut them off.
Sabbatical study, this I Rastafari sabbatical study for this Shabbat strong. 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 Shabbat and counting Pentecost Day, Pentecost fully right here. This is the fulfilling of the seventh Shabbat, or the seventh Shabua, seventh week right here, counting the 7 Shabbats complete. As it says in Acts of the Apostles, when Pentecost was fully come. So here, reason for the season right here. Just that note there, looking forward to the first day, coming forward tomorrow after the Shabbat for the Feast of the Holy Spirit in the upper room of Zion. Shavuot, harvest, fully come. Pentecost Day, the 50th day since the resurrection, the first fruits here. In the season right here, bringing it forward to the harvest time. 2 sevens clash, right? 7 times 7, 49 days, tomorrow after the 7th Shabbat. So looking forward to the full of Shavuot and to the Brit Chadasha in the upper room, the new covenant, the second part of the After Shabbat podcast. So here for the first part, the After Shabbat podcast, and then the first day service, aka the Sunday service. Looking forward. So right here, this Torah reading and feeding for Parashat alotekha, often rendered in the KJV as when thou lightest, or from Hebrew, some will bring it out as when you step up, when thou steppest, when the eye steppest up, to cause the light of the lamps to ascend, to go up. Here, alotekha. So here, this Torah reading and feeding right here at the fourth day, has the aliyah for the fourth day right there. That was on the cloud. The cloud spoke about the cloud over the Mishkan, how the cloud led the Beit Yisrael, the Beit of Israel. Then also we have the two silver trumpets, Te Chatzatzarot, Kesef, the two trumpets made out of silver right there, the signaling of the camp, the gathering of all Israel. We have the tekiah, right, of both of the trumpets. Then the gathering of the leaders, the Nesim, the princes. We have the tekiah, one trumpet, one blast of one trumpet, and the departure from the camp, a tekiah, like a long blast, and then we have the teruah, and then the tekiah of both trumpets. So that signaling right there, the gathering of the camp. But here, picking up with the overview for this 36th sabbatical study, for this Shabbat Strong, we have right here Yisrael, the Beit Yisrael, the house of Israel, the Beit of Israel, the Bnei Yisrael leaves Har Sinai, leaving Sinai. So now after this, the Torah records right here that the Bnei Yisrael, once getting those instructions, they broke camp. They broke camp on what is called today ER 20th. What is ER 20th? So in the latter time, right after the return from the Babylonian captivity, right, there was some adopting of some of the names of the months. So for the first month, the Torah calls it Abib, etymologically related to like Abebe, right, to bud, to flower in Amharic, also Abeba, a flower, Abeba, like Adis, Abeba, and Abebe, right? Ababa, that's a little different right there. It's an affectionate name for father. But we have the first month, Abib, right? Abib. Now, after the Babylonian, the captivity, we have this, even some of the months, even within the scripts later on in the historical narrative after, like Ezra, Nehemiah, after that declaration of Koresh or Cyrus, of the return to rebuild the wall of Jerusalem, to rebuild the temple, we have the name Nisan for the first month. So Torah-wise, it's called Abib, but later it was also referred to as Nisan. Then for the second month, which is known as ER, is actually in the Torah, it does have a name, right? So-called, you find it in, I think, First Kings chapter 6, verse 1. There, the translator, KJV, calls it Ziph or Ziph, right? Others refer to this month, the second month, as Ziv. But when we look at the Hebrew, more correctly, Afro-Shemitically, as Zu. Z-I-W would be the, bringing out of the Hebrew. But this month is referred to as ER. So we have a little point of reference here from the scripts, right? Because only a few months are really named directly in the scripts, the first and the second. we can find reference names in the scripts, right? The other months are usually referred to as 3rd, 4th, right, all the way to the 12th. And, of course, at sometimes the intercalary month, the extra 13th month, Hebraically, according to the lunar solar calculation. But where do we find this particular month referred to as Ziv, right? By Martin Yehudi Ziv. It comes from the Hebrew Ziw. Ziw. But in KJV, it's referred to as Zif, right? But here, Ziw refers to the origin of the word radiance and brightness. Radiance and brightness. Here, let's bring the scripts here, found in 1 Kings chapter 6, verse 1. So scripture-wise, the names given to the first and the second month, and the other months referred to as their particular number, right? But some of the later months, after the Babylonian captivity can also be found. But here, for the second month, concerning Yisrael, the Bnei Yisrael leaving Sinai, Har Sinai, Mount Sinai, we find this in the KJV, 1 Kings chapter 6, verse 1. 1 Kings chapter 6, verse 1. And it reads, and it came to pass in the 480th year after the children of Israel, the Bnei Yisrael, were come out of the land of Mitzrayim, the Tawi, the two lands, in the 4th year of Solomon's reign over Israel, in the month Zif, here KJV, Z-I-F. That is the second month that he began to build the house of Yahweh. Right? Some say the Hebrew began is built, right? That he built the house of Yahweh. So KJV has began, the Hebrew brings out more of the sense of built. But it's here in this particular verse here in 1 Kings chapter 6, verse 1. Chapter 6, let's see if we get the Hebrew here. Wayahia b'shemonim shana. Wayahia b'shemonim shana with arba'a me'ota shana li'at b'nei Yisrael me'eretz Mitzrayim b'shana ha-ri'ita b'chodesha ziu hu ha-chodesh ha-sheni limloka shalomo al Yisrael. Why Yevin ha-bayit la-Yahuwah. So that's the verse there from the Hebrew when Solomon once again, and it came to pass, why Yehi, and it be, and it came to pass, why Yehi, in the 480th year, after the sons of Israel, the children of Israel were come out of the land, says here, of Egypt, of Mitzrayim, Wayahi, B'Shemonim Ashana, Arba'a Me'ot Shana, Le'Tzeta B'nei Yisrael, Me Eretz Mitzrayim, from the land of Egypt. And it goes on to say, right here, in the 4th year of Solomon's reign, right? In the 4th year of Solomon's reign, Bashana, in the year Bashana, Ha-Revi'it, B'Chodesh, Ziu, in the month of, it says right here, Ziu, in the month of Ziu, right? So this word Ziu, also Ziv, some say Ziv, in the KJV, they have it as Zif, Zu, Ziv, Zif, right? The name of the second month of the year. Corresponding here, they say, to the April-May time, According to Strong's right here, Zu, right? Zu means to be prominent, right? Properly brightness. That is, in a figurative sense, this is the month, the moon of flowers, Zu, right? Zu. also corresponding to ER, or roughly the moon of May, right? Roughly the month of May. So after this, the Torah records and records, the records record that the Bnei Yisrael, the Israelites, broke camp on ER 20th or Zu, right? 20th, Zif 20th of their second year in the Midbar in the wilderness, journeying in the formation. They journeyed in formation from Har Sinai, from Mount Sinai. So there's an order here that's being commanded and being put into effect. And they journeyed in formation from Har Sinai, Mount Sinai, where they had been camped for nearly a year, nearly a Shana. It was at Sinai that Moshe had first set up HaMishkan, the Mishkan, the sanctuary, the dwelling place, dedicated, livicated the priesthood, the kahuna, and taught Ha'am, the people, Ha-mitzvot, the commandments of Ha-Torah, of the instruction. Now, in the, quote, second year, in the second month, right, on the 20th day of the month, that's how the Torah brings out the second year, the second month, the 20th day of the month, corresponding to Zif, 20th, Zu, Ziv, 20th, ER, 20th. The cloud, Ha-Enan, lifted from over the tabernacle, and the people began to set out by stages, like by groups. This group stage go out, this one in an order, toward the Midbar, towards the desert of Paran in the Negev. The Negev, some say the Negev, the south, the southern region, the place where Hagar and Yishmael were once abandoned. This is the place, the Negev, where they set out from Sinai, right, towards the desert of Paran in the south, in the Negev. And that's the place where Hagar and her son Yishmael were once abandoned. Now, firstly, in setting out in these stages, we have the eastern camp. The eastern camp. So when we look at the formation, right, of the camp and the ordering of the camp, it's like when we say a plus sign or a true cross measuring the east. There's the east, those on the east side, those on the west side, the north and the south, right? So as they begin to break camp, the first to break camp is along that eastern of the true plus sign, the true cross, that eastern portion, right? The eastern camp that's led by Yehuda, by Judah, set out. Now also in Numbers, it has 186,000, and studying like science and what has been recorded, the speed of light. So the number of that camp corresponds to the speed of light. And it's interesting because the east, as the light rises on the earthly plane from the east, that we get the first is the eastern camp led by Yehuda, the tribe of Yehuda, that sets out. This is now followed once the tribe of Judah led camp, right? So there's three, right? That is followed by the Levites, the looong. The Levites then followed, who moved, they would move now the tabernacle. So the earlier in this portion, even here, we go over it again, we see that the Levitical, right, is like 4 parts, you know, and to like the 3 sons plus Aharon and the priests, they have their particular responsibilities when the camp is moving forward. And each of the 3, we say clans, mishpakas of the Levites, have their role to play in the camp moving and what they would bear, what they would carry, you know, so forth and so on. So first, the eastern camp. So we have the camp is set out as from a heaven, a ground view, like a cross, like a true cross, right? And this is interesting and important to get this visualization right here, right? So like from, like we say, like the God view, from a Shemayim view, from a heaven view, seeing this order, right? Seeing this order right here. So the eastern portion, the 3 tribes, along with Yehuda, Yissachar, right? Yissachar, Yehuda, and Zebulun, they now set out, and now the ones to follow them
right, are the Levites who are now moving the whole tabernacle. Then next we have the southern camp. The southern camp, right, of Reuben, right? So each camp had 3 tribes there, but there was a leader, the particular tribe that would be the leader of that camp. The southern camp's leader was Reuben sets out. And they're now followed by the Kohathites. The Kohathites who carried the tabernacle's holy of holy furnishings, the sacred furniture, like the menorah, the lampstand. And also we have the table, the shulchan, and so forth and so on. But all of the items in the Kodesh, the holy place, the sacred furnishings, being carried by the Kohathites. Then we get the western, right? The western camp. The western camp of Ephraim. That included Manasseh and Benjamin. So the western camp, led by Ephraim, includes Manasseh and Benjamin. They set out. And then they're followed by the northern camp of Dan, of the tribe of Dan, led by the tribe of Dan. And that camp is Asher and Naphtali. Asher and Naphtali are in the camp of the north, the northern camp, and they serve the camp led by Dan. The northern camp served as like a rear guard, right, for all the other camps, right? It is unclear, based on just reading the scripture right here, whether the Ark of the Covenant, the Aron HaBarit, was dispatched ahead to lead the camps in the Midbar. So it's not really clear right there. And we go over Numbers chapter 10, verses 33 to 35. Numbers chapter 10, verse 33 to 35. So they set out from the mount of the Lord of Yahweh, 3 days' journey. And the Ark of the Covenant, the Aron HaBarit of Yahweh, went before them 3 days journey, to seek out a resting place for them. Verse 34, and Ha'anan, the cloud of Yahweh, was over them by day, whenever they set out from the camp, from the camp. Verse 35, and whenever the ark, Ha'aron, when the ark set out, Moshe said, arise, O Yahweh, and make your enemies be scattered, and make those who hate the eye flee before the eye. Verse 36, and when Ha'aron, the ark, the tabot, when the ark rested, he said, return, O Yahweh, to the 10,000 thousands of Yisrael. This was like the watchword, the password, the watchword when the ark set out, right? And when it rested, right? So one thing that's not overtly said is when the ark, was dispatched, based on that right there. Because we know the cloud lifts up, the cloud moves forward, and it would be that, no doubt, that would be one of the initial things done. And right after that, Judah would follow, just based on what we have here in Numbers chapter 10, verse 33, right? Chapter 10, verse 33 to 36, where it says that there was 3 days, check out the number, HaShalush, HaKadosh, 3 days journey. The Ark of the Covenant of Yahweh went before them, right? 3 days journey to seek a resting place for them. And then it says the cloud of Yahweh was over them by day whenever they set out from the camp. So once the cloud, right, ascended, Allah went up, that key word here in alotekha, the aliyah, Allah to ascend. Once the cloud lifted up from off of the tabernacle and began to move forward, it would seem clear if the Ark of the Covenant of Yahweh went before them, that them there is the Israelites. And therefore we know that the signal for the camp to begin moving was when the cloud lifted up from off of the tabernacle. So the cloud lifting up from off of the tabernacle, that was a sign, no doubt, to get the ark ready, right? And they would set out, right? And then the tribe of Judah, following right behind, because the ark is in the first position and the cloud is over them. The cloud is over the ark, you know what I mean? And right next to the ark's movement, no doubt, would be the tribe of Judah, right there. Just to put that into context, and if we literally read it, we might not see, well, when it doesn't say, okay, the ark is going to move now, but the connection of the narrative in Numbers chapter 10, verses 33 to 36, I think it makes it very clear, because this is the section right after the section where it spoke about the cloud over the Mishkan, right? The cloud over the Mishkan, right? Where in this portion, it repeats the events that ended the book of Exodus, describing how the cloud, the Shekinah cloud, covered the tent of meeting. And that whenever the cloud lifted, it aliyah'd up, like Allah lifted up, the people of Israel, the sons of Israel, would set out. And whenever it rested, the people would camp. They would set camp. And the B'nai Yisrael traveled this way for the 40 years in the Midbar, in the desert, never knowing, or the wilderness, never knowing when a journey would begin or how long it would last. Numbers chapter 9, verse 15, and the Torah portion, Pekude, is a point of reference here. So here we get the information, right, from Numbers chapter 10, verse 33, right, chapter 10, 33 to 36, that the ark leads, right, but the cloud signals it's time to break camp, and the cloud moves. So the ark, right, and the cloud is together, right? And then by mentioning the tribe of Judah, once the cloud is on its way in the ark as well, the tribe of Judah, we could say close behind, as it were, right there. It's almost like His Majesty's, the personal insignia or the throne room was called the throne room, which is like looking into the Holy of Holies, right? And looking from the tabernacle position with the tribe of Judah right at the one entrance. The tribe of Judah, the three camps down the east side, Issachar, Zebulun, and Yehuda. Yehuda in the centermost portion being the leader of that tribe, that when the cloud starts to move and those who are moving the ark, right, are moving the ark at that time, that those two are moving together, in finding a place. And this is why it mentions the east, the eastern camp led by Yehuda is setting out, So it's kind of interesting just to meditate, how the timing was. The cloud lift up first, began to rise, the priest noticed, everyone near to encamp near the sanctuary notices this, and it's just a matter of getting ready, getting on the move. And then would it move gradually, giving the ones time to prepare, the items, especially the Ark of the Covenant, that would move as well. Remember the Ark, notice this is interesting, that the Ark of the Covenant would not be carried on any like wagons or, it was supposed to be carried on the shoulders, right, of those Levites that was appointed, right, carried on their shoulders. So we can see this, just how everything would flow. But whenever the B'nai Yisrael, whenever they broke camp, the cloud over the Mishkan, as we mentioned, would ascend as a column, right, and rest, it is said, over the tribe of Yehuda, right? The silver trumpets in the order of things would then sound for the departure of the camp, for the breaking and the departure of the camp. And everyone would begin mobilizing. So it's like almost an automatic mobilization. What's interesting, historically speaking, even amongst the Israelites of Ethiopia, in the royal order of Ethiopian Hebrews, that until recent times, the king's camp, Solomonic Davidic king's camp in the highlands of Ethiopia were usually very mobile, right? Would move in that sense from place to place. So therefore, that tribe of ones and ones mobilizing, and being ready on the instant. The difference is that in the camps of, we could say, the Israelites of Ethiopia, it's like when the king, decided to break camp, but how ones and ones had to be ready. This is the key. So when the Kohathites were ready to move the ark and the sacred objects, right? The Kohathites are the ones appointed, to move the ark and the sacred objects. So, the ark will be carried on the shoulders of at least 4, of the Kohathites. But then there were the other Kohathites as well that would focus on their respective, the sacred objects, after the priests had prepared them, covered them properly. Moshe would say the following words. And these words, very interesting. We have it in Psalm 68. These particular words right here, they are adapted in Psalm 68. Let's see if we can bring that up right here. Psalm 68, because we have a Torah reading and feeding here, touching on this here, as well as today's daily song. He would say the words, arise, Yahweh, rise, O Jehovah, let your enemies be scattered. Make your enemies be scattered. Uma, Yahweh, we yafutsu, oibeka, we yanusu, misaneka, mi paneka, we yanusu, and let them flee, we yanusu, misaneka, those who hate the eye, mi paneka, from before you or from your face. So these particular words, arise, O Yahweh, and may your enemies be scattered. Uma, Yahweh, we yafutsu, from put, means like to scatter. Yafutsu, may they be scattered. May they be scattered, flattered and shattered. May they be scattered. We yafutsu, oibeka. V'yafutsu, oibeka. We yafutsu, oibeka. Oibe, right? Oyeb, enemy. Oibeka, the eye, male enemies. We yanusu. Yanusu, from noose, to flee. We yanusu. May they be like fled in a sense. May they flee, may they be fled. We yanusu. Me saneka. Saneka is from sane. Sane is like the hate. It's the word for hate, like to hate as a verb. Sane. Me saneka. Me saneka. They who hate the eye. Speaking to Yahweh. We're saying to Yahweh, Uma, to rise, O Yahweh. Arise, O Yahweh. Be scattered, your enemies. We yafutsu oibeka. Be fled. We yanusu. Misaneka. Those who despise the eye. Mi paneka. From your paneh, from your face, from your perception, the sense of before the eye. And so when the tribe was completed, and the cloud had stopped moving, and the camps then would be set up. Then the camp will be set up wherever the cloud, right, and the ark stopped. There, the camp will be set up, including the Mishkan. In fact, that's the first thing, is wherever the cloud stopped, and stood, that's where the Mishkan, that's where the sanctuary, the courtyard, the furnishing, everything would be set up right there. So the cloud would symbolize, the heart of the camp, the Ohel Moed, the tent of meeting, and the courtyard of the camp, right? And then the other camps, especially the 4 camps, they would position themselves appropriately. So we have the camp of Judah, right? Judah would be where? Judah would be at the east side, right? The south side. right? We will have Reuben, right? The camp of Reuben. The west side, Ephraim, camp of Ephraim. And on the north side, vis-a-vis in position to all this will be in position to the sanctuary. So we actually see when we use like a compass. So on a level, the camp was set like on the cross lines of a compass, right? So on the north side, Dan and that camp will be positioned on the north side. So just imagine the courtyard as like a rectangle. So wherever the cloud stopped, right, vis-a-vis to the four corners of the earthly plane, that is how the camp will be set up. The main camp, the holy place, the Mishkan, and then all the other camps in their relative positions, right? So the cloud would not, right, descend on the Mishkan. Some say that the cloud, right, would still be like ascended, but it would not descend upon the tabernacle. However, until Moses prayed the following words, right? These following words right here: return, O Yahweh, to the 10,000 thousands of Yisrael, to the 10,000 thousands of Yisrael, according to Numbers chapter 10, verse 36b. So we have Numbers chapter 10, right? Chapter 10, verse 36, the A part of the verse, when the ark was setting off, and then also compare that with Psalm 68, the rephrasing of that in Psalm 68, the readaptation of that. But here's what it said when now the cloud is ready to settle down, right? And the camp is ready to encamp. Moshe would say, Shuvah, Shuvah, Yahweh, Shuvah, Shub. Shub means to turn as a verb. Shub means to turn, to return, the sense of to come back in that sense. So here we have the sense of it with like a command to he who be, Shuvah, 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 return, Yahweh, Shuvah, Yahweh, return, O Yahweh, Ribibot, Rivivot, Ribibot, Rebaba or Revava, modern Hebrew, Revava, Rebaba, Rebaba. Rebaba, a noun plural, means a multitude. Rebaba, Ribaba, Ribaba. A multitude, a myriad. The sense numerically is like a 10,000, a 10,000. So here we have it in the feminine plural. So already it has a meaning in its base sense, Rebaba, of a multitude, a myriad, 10,000, right? Now we have this pluralized, like Ribibot, Ribibot, Ribibot with the feminine plural constructive sense. So this is to say Ribabot, Rivavot, the tens of thousands of Alfei, Alfei from Elef. So in Hebrew, to say thousand, we say Elef. It's why pointing really matters, and the proper pointing really matters, and recognize that Hebrew has 7 primary, like the Ge'ez in the ancient Afro-Shemitic language, 7 primary, you would say, vowels. For the Elef, right, we have the Aleph, the first letter is Aleph, right? We have Aluf, like a leader, a chief, Aluf. So the pointing is important. But here, the Elef, right? Elef means like 1,000. It's like thousands. Elef is thousands. It's like a noun, masculine, plural, Elef, right? Thousands, to say like many clans, many companies, like thousands. Elef, Elef, right? This is from the verb sense, the alaf sense of the verb right there. But here in the constructive sense, alfei means like thousands, companies of thousands, clans of thousands of. Alfei Yisrael. So we have Rivabot, Alfei Yisrael. Brings out the sense of the 10,000s of thousands of Yisrael. The 10,000, like the multitude of the 10,000, the myriads of the 10,000s of the thousands of Yisrael. Revevot alfei Yisrael. So this is what Moshe would say right? To the cloud descending on the Mishkan, the holy place, and the camp being officially set up, and the ark being in place, and the ark being at rest. Shubah Yahuwah Ribibot Alfei Yisrael. Return, O Yahuwah, to the myriads of the tens of thousands of the thousands of Yisrael, of Israel, the Prince with El, the Almighty, he who strive and prevail with the Almighty eye. So today, these same Pesukim, Pesuk, a verse, Pesukim is like verses, they're recited. These verses are recited even today, and from such a time, these verses are recited when the Sefer Torah, or the Torah scroll, when the Torah scroll is taken out of the ark in the Hebrew gathering, in the Me'od, called the Me'od, later the Knesset, the synagogue, the gathering together, the Yehudi church, right, during the Torah processional at services. So there's like a Torah processional. So it's almost like when the scripts are brought out, right? When the scripts are being brought out, then we have the first part of Numbers chapter 10, verse 35, right? Verse 35 right here. Kuma Yahuwah, Wiyafutsu Oibeka, Wiya Nusu Mesaneka, Mipaneka. Arise, O Yahuwah, may your enemies be scattered, and may those who hate you flee before the eye. It's almost like to say, like what's in the gathering together, when we bring out the scripts, we'll rise up that chant right there. And when the scripts are returned to their place, because in the Yehudi church, much like the Ethiopic on a principal level, where the scrolls are kept within the gathering is called the ark. So when the scrolls are brought out, these Pesukim, these verses are said, bringing out the scroll. This verse is said, Kuma Yahuwah, rise, O Jehovah, we Yafutsu Oibeka, and may your enemies be scattered. We Yanusu Mesaneka Mipamneka, and may they flee. May those who hate you flee from before the eye. And in putting up the scrolls, Shubah Yahuwah Rebebot Alfei Yisrael. Shubah Yahuwah Rebebot Alfei Yisrael. Return, O Yahuwah, to the myriads of the tens of thousands of Yisrael. Yes. Praise be. So here. Just coming to a fullness, going over some of the topical themes right here. One more theme right here. So for right here, touching on the theme, this is under the theme of Yisrael, right? The Beit Yisrael, the Beta Israel leaving Har Sinai, how the camp is broken. When the camp is broken, what is the order, the formation? What's the passwords, what is said? When the ark is setting out, and when the ark comes into the new tabernacle, and when she comes to rest, what is said right there. This can be used for bringing out the Torah scrolls, bringing out the scrolls, as well as putting up the scrolls. So in a sense, we can learn this and applying that principle even in the temple, in the Brit Hadasha, to when we open up the scrolls. You know what I mean? When we open up the scrolls, we rise up the chant, arise, O Yahuwah, may your enemies be scattered, and may those who hate the eye flee before the eye. And when we're sealing up, return, O Yahuwah, to the hosts of Israel, to the thousands, right? The 10,000 thousands. Next item right here, briefly, is Jethro. Remember Jethro? Moshe's Midianite, some say Cushite related, Midianite father-in-law, the priest of Midian, right? He leaves Israel. Does he leave the Beit Israel, the Beta Israel? Does he leave the Bnei Israel? Now when the Beta Israel, the Beit Israel broke camp to finish its trek to the promised land. We had the Torah portion known as Jethro, Moshe's father-in-law, his chotain, said he would return to Midian. Moshe, we have in the narrative, Moses appealed for him to stay with them and to share in Yahweh's barakah, in Jehovah's empowerment to prosper of Yisrael. Now, from study of the Torah, it seems somewhat unclear overtly, however, whether Jethro, whether Yotor stayed with the Bnei Yisrael, with the Israelites, as a Ger Tzedek, like a righteous stranger, so to speak, Ger Tzedek, or if he actually went back and returned to Midian, right, to Medina, right? One midrash, one study, it says and relates that he chose, actually, the results of their study on this question, whether Yitro, Moshe, his father-in-law Jethro, left Yisrael. One study says that he chose to stay with the Beta Israel and the sons of Israel, the Bnei Yisrael. And his descendants, it is said, became members of the great assembly called the Sanhedrin, the great assembly, right? The Zekanim, the Zekanim, like the elders, right? The Zekanim, right? The elders, Zakan, the elder, the Zekanim, the elders who judge Yisrael, the elders who judge Yisrael. Now, one Ibn Ezra, he puts forward the suggestion that Chobab, right, is Moshe's brother-in-law. That is the brother of Zipporah, Moshe's Eshet, his Isha, his Orset, his wife. And that Reuel is another name for Yitro. Because interesting, in the narrative, we get Jethro, and then it seems as though there are other names associated like Hobab, and like Reuel. So one scholar of Torah, Ibn Ezra, put forward a suggestion that Hobab is actually Moses' brother-in-law, the brother of his Isha, his Eshet, his wife, Zipporah, and that Reuel is another name for Yitro, right? And there's some Yehudi, Ha-Yehudim commentaries on this subject, which are interesting as they point to scripture and how that may be interpreted regarding such questions right here, providing various interpretations, some interesting interpretations, some that are very much worthy of one's and one's hearing, and come, make I and I reason, right? We're going to move forward right here, looking at the time and what we seek to bring forward with today's daily psalm. There's a section of the Tabera, or Tabera, the Tabera, where the people had complained. All right, we'll pause on that right here concerning the mixed multitude and, some of the, I'll say, politics, the policies and the different movements in the camp with the mixed multitude and the tribes, what happened in the Mahane in the camp, and even the elders, what went on with the rabble, the mixed multitude, and how that became a situation, within the camp. It's like basically the mixed multitude complained. And then the Bnei Yisrael, then the sons of Israel complained. When the mixed multitude was like when they say Jew and Gentile, right? It was like the Gentiles complained and then caused the Bnei Yisrael to complain. And that was a whole Tabera. Tabera has a sense of like fire burning. Tabera, right? Tabera, right? Also, we have Miriam and Aaron's Lashon Hara, right? The Lashon Hara, that the evil speech, the gossip, and also the case of the Mitzorah, the case of catching leprosy. This is why the so-called leprosy, more better, is skin disease, is defined Torah-wise as skin disease, right? And it's thought that the Lashon Hara, the evil tongue, the unkind tongue, the gossip, chatty patty tongue, what the tongue can do, as we have in, I think it's James, when James talk about what a small member the tongue is, but how it can be unruly and what sorts of fire it can start. I think it's in James, Epistle of James, where he speaks that way about the tongue. And what's interesting is that we have two further incidences in this alotekha, this 36 Torah reading and feeding. It's a tabera, where the people complain. Right? What caused the complaint? Simply put, mixed multitude complain. The other peoples, other nations, the mixed people, but that had faith or professed faith in what the Israelites were doing and what Yah was doing with the Israelites. And then the Israelites complain, and like about debtors. It was a debtors complaint, about the conveniences that they used to have when they were still in the Tawit, when they were still in captivity. And we get a very interesting reasonment there. I'd like to just zoom in on that. Hopefully, Yah willing, having a chance moving forward. And then the Miriam and Aharon's Lashon Hara, even though it was mainly Miriam, that was like a ringleader. Aaron, he did give ear, in the al peh, like in the, like the mouth to mouth, like in the ear to ear, like in the gossip and the speaking directly about it. So it was Miriam that was putting this forward and what had happened. So often it's thought that leprosy or the skin disease was connected with the evil tongue, the unkind, hurtful, harmful use of the tongue, right? Created, according to the Torah, situations of called leprosy or skin disease. Right, of skin disease. You know what I mean? And it's a very interesting subject matter. One say, well, this is Miriam. What's any other example? Remember Moshe? When Moshe said, like, he wanted a sign or something, he said the people would not believe. Remember Moses said that the people would not believe that Yahuwah had actually revealed, that the patriarchal Hashilush HaKadosh had actually revealed, right, to him, that he thought the people wouldn't believe this amazing thing that went on. And he said, like, what will he do? So he basically inferred that the people of Israel would be unbelievers. And so when Yahuwah gave him the sign, you remember the sign of the serpent, grabbing the snake by the tail, and also his hand in his bosom. The hand in the bosom, since the hand has a symbol, the hand does work, and the hand of Yahuwah, the hand, by the hand of Moshe, by the hand of Yahuwah, the hand has a particular symbol. The hand is power, basically. The hand is power. I think in the previous psalm, it talked about by the power of the sword. In the Hebrew, that verse is read by the hand of the sword. Even when it says about death and life is in the power of the tongue. In the Hebrew, also the Royal Amharic and the Giyorgis, the Afro-Shemitic languages, it brings out in the hand, right? It uses in the hand. It's in the hand of the tongue. Now we know that the tongue doesn't have a hand, but it's because the hand is a symbol of power. So when Moshe was told to put his hand in his bosom, right, and take it out, we note that his hand was leprous. And then we compare this with the consequence of Miriam's Lashon Hara, when she spoke against the Ethiopian wife of Moshe, the Cushawite, what had happened to her, because she spoke Rara, right? She spoke Hara, and she spoke Chara, right? She talked shite, basically, and that was not to the benefit, like tail bearing, what tail bearing can do to a group or community, And then she was given that skin disease, that leprosy, right, where her other skin was turned white, right there. So that happened with Moshe's hand. And the reasoning on, well, why did that happen to his hand? The connection that most people miss when they read it just casually is that Moses had actually spoke Lashon Hara. He spoke evil of the children of Israel. We said, well, how he spoke evil? He said that they would not believe. They would not accept it. and he needed signs, and therefore signs was given to him. But one of the signs given him concerning that hand in the bosom, right? Speaking the Lashon Hara, Moses was sent forward with that. He's the authority, he's the power. Yahweh spoke to him, speaking to the people. Don't doubt, like, oh, they're not going to get it. You know, like sometimes we'll say, well, I ain't going to tell one. They're not going to believe me. Like, that's like prophesizing in a sense, though Moses is not prophesying there, but he did say that they would not believe. And what happens? When Moshe actually goes to the people and tell them, you know, they receive it, they believe it, they're joyful, they're like, yes, almost like about time, yes, they believed it. So that explains this leprosy connection, right? The mitzvah, right? The mitzvah is a word, leper. But then if we look at it in the Hebrew, unpointed, right, with proper pointing, we could have the motzi. Motzi is one who brings, from the same letters of mitzvah, we have the motzi, the bringer of ra, evil in a sense of hurtful, harmful, bad things. And remember the power of the tongue, right? Death and life is in the what? The power of the tongue. And for further on that, James speaks of that, you know, as well, the power, you know, the power that is within the word, the tongue, and the taming of the tongue. Yes, We're going to ride up right here, but to the theme of the Psalm 68, the password, right, arc setting forward, right, and arc resting, password, but here, from the arc setting forward, here, forward.
Let God arise, let his enemies be scattered. Let them also that hate him flee before him. As smoke is driven away, so drive them away. As wax melteth before the fire, so let the wicked perish at the presence of God. But let the righteous be glad, let them rejoice before God. Yea, let them exceedingly rejoice. Sing unto God, sing praises to his name. Extol him that rideth upon the heavens by his name, Yah, and rejoice before him. A father of the fatherless, and a judge of the widows is God in his holy habitation. God setteth the solitary in families. He bringeth out those which are bound with chains, but the rebellious dwell in a dry land.
Yeah, note that right there. Who causes famine? Is it God or is it man? Well, right there. Psalm 68 says, the rebellious dwell in a dry land. Remember, that's the same psalm that has princes shall come out of Egypt, Ethiopia stretch forth her hands unto God. Right here, look on Psalm 68 on the password that we find in Numbers chapter 10. Right here. Whoa, yeah. The Bible tells us that God will come again in a new name. It will be terrible and dreadful. Amongst the Eden, call upon his name in this time. It must be Jah. Yes, it must be Jah. Psalm 68, show I that. The Bible tell I that mothers and fathers will be against their joy to call upon his name in this time. It must be Jah. It must be Jah. Psalm 68, show I that. The Bible show again, render your heart and not your garments. Look at the people going to church this day. It must be Jah. Yes, it must be Jah. Psalm 68, show I that. Whoa, yeah. The Bible show again, render your heart and not your garment. Look at the people
Bible tell us that God will come again.
Yes, yes, yes. New name. Psalm 68. Psalm 68. So here. Today's daily psalm, we have Psalm 29. Very important. You know, this psalm is one of the Shabbat, the Kabbalat Shabbat psalms, you know, Psalm 95 to 99, plus Psalm 29. So right here, got Psalm 29 right here. Shema'ah Yisrael.
Psalm 29.
Right here.
Give unto the Lord, O ye mighty. Give unto the Lord glory and strength. Give unto the Lord the glory due unto his name. Worship the Lord in the beauty of holiness. The voice of the Lord is upon the waters. The God of glory thundereth. The Lord is upon many waters. The voice of the Lord is powerful. The voice of the Lord is full of majesty. The voice of the Lord breaketh the cedars. Yea, the Lord breaketh the cedars of Lebanon. He maketh them also to skip like a calf. Lebanon and Syrian like a young unicorn. The voice of the Lord divideth the flames of fire. The voice of the Lord shaketh the wilderness. The Lord shaketh the wilderness of Kadesh. The voice of the Lord maketh the hinds to calve, and discovereth the forests. And in his temple doth every one speak of his glory. The Lord sitteth upon the flood. Yea, the Lord sitteth king forever. The Lord will give strength unto his people. The Lord will bless his people with peace. Peace, 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 peace.
Yes. So we have Psalm 29. I know we share this psalm on the Shabbat time as well, but right here. Let's see if we can bring this forward right here. Yeah, Psalm. Here we go. Check.
The Lord will bless his people with peace. Peace, 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 peace.
מזמור כ"ט, מזמור לדוד. הבו לאדוני בני אלים, הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז. הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו, ישתחוו לאדוני בהדרת קודש. כל אדוני על המים אל הכבוד הרעים, אדוני על מים רבים. כל אדוני בכוח, כל אדוני בהדר. כל אדוני שובר ארזים, וישבר אדוני את ארזי הלבנון. וירקידם כמו עגל, לבנון וסיריון כמו בן ראמים. כל אדוני חוצב להבות אש. כל אדוני יחיל מדבר, יחיל אדוני מדבר קדש. כל אדוני יחולל איילות, ויחשוף יערות ובהיכלו, כולו אומר כבוד. אדוני למבול ישב, וישב אדוני מלך לעולם. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו ושלום, 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 ושלום.
Yes, and this right here, inspired by those words of the Psalm, says the Kalanji right here. We also use this as well. But to the point of the word, says this is the Psalm of the seven thunders, and it figures within the Yehudi, Ha-Yehudim, like services. You say the Jewish, the Judaic church, the gathering together right here is important.
Also give unto Rastafari, you mighty, give unto Rastafari glory and strength. Give unto Rastafari the glory due unto his name. Worship Rastafari and beauty of holiness. The voice of Rastafari is upon the waters, the voice of Rastafari is thunderous. Rastafari is upon many waters, the voice of Rastafari is full of power, the voice of Rastafari is full of majesty. More love and more honesty.
right, there's a lot to share on today's daily psalm, but we're going to go to some basics as we have been doing for the last several Shavuot since in Pesach and before Passover. You know, some psalms are rather long, you know, and definitely need to even just go through them in parts, sections, you know, some like 119, for example, you know, maybe at other times go through it so we can get a, you know, better, you know, reading and feeding on the psalm and what's in the psalm and how it connects with elsewhere in scripture, revelation, because sometimes, you know, for the ones who only knew the scriptures, right, they may say something over here, but there's everyone who knows there's a reference to something over there. So right here, the theme of today's daily psalm right here. Let's bring this up right here. We have Psalm 29. Today's daily psalm, according to the royal order, is Psalm 29, Mizmor Kaf 8. Kaf Tet, Kaf Tet, Kaf Tet. Right? Here we have Hebrew alphanumerics, Kaf, have a value of 20, and Tet, or Tet, some may say, the ninth letter of the Hebrew Aleph Beit, Mizmor Kaf Tet. Psalm XXIX, Psalm 29. Is themed, Chabarim, is themed a storm picture. Today's daily psalm has a theme of a storm picture, a thrilling description of a storm, a verbal symphony, in that the shattering peals of thunder reverberating round and round the hills are reproduced in words, sound power, with realistic effect. A Hebrew poet, however, could not rest satisfied with a word picture. His really just, righteous, spiritual genius induced him to interpret the thunderclaps as the majestic voice of Yahweh Eloheinu. The psalm, the Mizmor, is included in the Shabbat, in the Sabbath liturgy. The Sabbath, the Kiddush, we often call it the Kabbalat Shabbat, the welcoming of the Sabbath, and also in the Sabbath liturgy, the holy, you know, the holy service for Yom HaShabbat, the Sabbath liturgy. According to the ancient teaching, you know, collectively known as the Talmud, operative word means teaching, in Barachot 29a, the 7 Sabbath benedictions. There are 7 Sabbath benedictions within the Siddur, right? The Yehudi, we could say. And you remember when Yeshua, Robbeinu, he went to the synagogue in Nazareth and he went up to read. That's like part of this particular order right here. There are 7 Sabbath benedictions, right? They correspond. The reason is that the 7 Shabbat benedictions, the word, sound, and power, prosperity, and life, and health, and goodwill, they correspond to the 7, quote, voices of Yahweh. There are 7 voices of Jehovah contained in the psalm, even today's daily psalm, in Mizmor Kaf 8. In Psalm 29, that is themed in the Sefer Tehillim, a storm picture. Furthermore, the closing note, there's a closing note of shalom, closing note of peace, coming at the end, at the fulfillment of a poem, a composition of the storm. This is peculiarly apt and appropriate for the day of rest, that introduces, right, a spirit of calm after the storm of everyday life and liberty, as well as conflict. So therefore, one of the reasons why, so when we say the Kabbalat Shabbat, the welcoming, or the Kabbalah of the Shabbat, the welcoming, Kabbalah, to welcome, to receive, the receiving of the Shabbat, the welcoming of the Sabbath, why it has Psalm 95, these 6 Psalms, Psalm 95 to Psalm 99, plus the seal up, right, Psalm 29, Mizmor Kaf 8, and thus theme the storm picture from the content from reading the content of the song. We find there's the 7 voices of Yahweh. We can see how these 7 voices with the 7 Shabbat, Sabbath benedictions, right? The 7 Sabbath benedictions, right? And then there's that closing note of Shalom within the composition. There's actually a storm, like a stormy picture. But then the stormy picture, it fulfills in calm, right? And how this connects right here with the day of rest, the Yom HaShabbat, that is to introduce, right, and induce a spirit, right, of calm, of rest, of refresh after the storm of everyday life, liberty, and conflict. So Psalm 29, it's another further build, right? Colin deletes right here. Another further build on today's daily psalm, just briefly. It's also themed the Psalm of the 7 Thunders. So this theme here, Chabarim, even in the season of the 7, the 7 Shabbats, counting the 7 Shabbats complete, the 7 times 7 harvest, we're speaking about Yovel and Jubilee, the Shemitah year, the 7th year, the 7 feasts, and festivals that occur in 3 seasons, but there's 7 of them as well. The Shabbat day as well being the 7th day, so on all these levels, it really resonates. The Shabbat, Sheba, this idea of 7s, and the word also referring to an oath and 17, 7, it's 7 times 7, right? 2 7s clash, yes? So Psalm 29 summary, Mizmor-Kaftet summary. The psalm, the chant, intonation of the 7 thunders. The occasion of this psalm, this Mizmor, this chant, is a thunderstorm. It is not, however, limited to the outward, that outward natural phenomena, but therein is perceived the self-attestation of the Elohim, right, of the redemptive story, the redemptive narrative and redemptive history. Just as in the second part of Psalm 19, verses 1 to 14, we have the Elohim of the revelation, right? In Psalm 19, the second part, we have the Elohim of the revelation, the chazon, the revelation, the vision of salvation of Yeshua, victory is called, in the latter part, second part of Psalm 19, he is called Yahweh, Jehovah, Yahweh, by the Hashem 7 times. 7 times in distinction from the Elohim revealed in the nature. So in this psalm, right, this is a psalm, something as the storm picture. Others zooming in to the 7 voices and the 7 thunders call it the Psalm of Thunder, right? The call Yahweh, the call of Hashem, the voice, the call Yahweh. This is repeated here in today's daily psalm 7 times, so that it may be called the psalm, right? The Psalm of the 7 thunders, the Psalm of the 7 thunders. Notice in Revelation, Chazon of Yohanan, Revelation of John that was given to John, it says this right here, and cried with a loud voice, as when a lion roareth, and when he had cried, 7 thunders uttered their voices. Right? You got 7 thunders uttering their voices. We have this from Revelation chapter 10, verse 3. Revelation chapter, Vayikra b'kol gadol k'aryeh shoeg. So here, and he cried and he called out with a loud voice or with a big voice. Vayikra b'kol, in voice gadol, voice big, a big, right? A big voice. Ka'asha, right? Ka'asha, Yishag. You know, we could say Ka'aryeh, Shoeg as a roaring lion, or Yishag Ha-Aryeh. Like when a lion and the lion does what? And the lion roars, right? And here, it speaks of what? It speaks of the seven, right? It speaks of seven thunders, right? Seven, Shib'at, seven, Har Amim, or Har Amim, Be Koltehem, their voices, brought forth their voices. So we have the seven here in today's daily Psalm, Psalm 29, seven voices of Yahuwah, right? We have seven thunders. We have the seven thunders, this Psalm of the seven, right? During the time of the Second Temple period, before 70 AD, right, as there was addition to the superscription, right? There's some additions to the superscription, you know, bringing this out right here. Let's see if we can just get an accurate translation to this right here to share with the family here, because the Septuagint is in the Koine Greek, right? Let's see right here. Exit of the stage. Okay, got to bring that out. Go to that a little bit more. But here. This within the temple liturgy was used today's daily psalm. You know, often it was attached to the intervening days of the Feast of Tabernacles. So when we look at the Feast of Tabernacles, right, the Feast of Tabernacles, we have those seven, you know, fulfilling on that eighth day as well. So to see that also this psalm is mentioned in other ancient writings as being connected with the festival of Pentecost, which is interesting here for the season. So in Pentecost, all right, that harvest, counting the seven weeks, the seven sevens complete, right, and the tradition of the gathering, right, it prevails that even at the present day recognizes it only as a festival psalm, right? Some look at this as only a festival psalm of the first day of Shabuot, of harvest Pentecost. The psalm for Shemini Atzeret, some say, which is speaking of the Feast of Tabernacles, that also has the 7 to 8 days, the Shemini Atzeret on the 8th day of Tabernacles at the end of the year. So notice this psalm is connected with two harvest psalms. The first harvest, right, Pentecost, Shabuot, and the latter harvest, the Feast of Tabernacle or booths or huts, right? The only confirmation to a statement that we have in the LXX is found in something called the Sohar or the Zohar, right? Connected this with the pouring forth of the water on the 7th day of the Feast of Tabernacles. So the Feast of Tabernacles, the 7th day is called the Hoshiana Rabbah, the Hosanna Rabbah, Hoshiana Rabbah. Save us now, you know, oh Lord, oh great one, right? And so there's the 7th day, right, the Hoshana day, right? And that going around the altar the 7 times, you know, celebrating in the Feast of Tabernacles at the end of the year. In the 7th month, on the 7th day, there's said to be a water libation, right? There's a libation, a pouring forth of water. Now, when we read the Gospels in Brit Chadasha, we can now tell that, well, this is what was going on, and what even in Jesus, when he went to the different feasts, what was going on at the different times. So we see even in the time of Moshiach that much of what we have here and we learn here through our study was even being done then. This is where Yeshua also connects the whole water and his reasoning to them and the revelation as well. Since it is said that by means of 7 kolot, right, 7 voices, the 7 voices, they correspond to the 7 compassings of the Mizbeach, of the altar, right? Going around the altar in the later Feast of Harvest, the Feast of Tabernacles time. And there's 7 of the Sifrot, right? 7 of the ciphers. They open the floodgates of the Shemayim, the floodgates of the heavens. So just kind of just pointing to that right there, you know, the connection with the storm, right? The storm picture, the inner content of the 7-fold voice of Yahweh, the peals of thunder, and also with that revelation at Har Sinai, at Mount Sinai, you know, they heard the thunders and the lightnings, and then they heard the voice. They heard the voice of Yahweh speaking the commandments called the 10 words, or also called the 10 commandments, but the scripture calls it the commandment, and it calls what's called the 10 commandments in the scriptures are called the 10 words. So they had heard the voice of Yahweh, right? They heard the voice of HAILE, of Ha Elohim on that day, right? And that was accompanied by, you know, the storm, a kind of a storm of revelation, you know. And then we also have in the book of Revelation, you know, the link which we just linked right there. So right here, let's ride up right here. Today's daily psalm, according to the royal order, Ethiopian Hebrew, that's the order of Malachi Tzedek. All right, go through a verse by verse right here. Do we have this 3-in-1 here? Okay, let's touch on the storm right here. The English and the Hebrew is what we're going to be touching on right here. Shema Yisrael, right here.
Psalm 29. Give unto the Lord, O ye mighty, give unto the Lord glory and strength. Give unto the Lord the glory due unto his name. Worship the Lord in the beauty of holiness. The voice of the Lord is upon the waters. The God of glory thundereth. The Lord is upon many waters. The voice of the Lord is powerful. The voice of the Lord is full of majesty. The voice of the Lord breaketh the cedars. Yea, the Lord breaketh the cedars of Lebanon. He maketh them also to skip like a calf. Lebanon and Syrian like a young unicorn. The voice of the Lord divideth the flames of fire. The voice of the Lord shaketh the wilderness. The Lord shaketh the wilderness of Kadesh. The voice of the Lord maketh the hinds to calve, and discovereth the forests. And in his temple doth every one speak of his glory. The Lord sitteth upon the flood. Yea, the Lord sitteth king forever. The Lord will give strength unto his people. The Lord will bless his people with peace. Peace, 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 peace.
מזמור כ"ט, מזמור לדוד. הבו לאדוני בני אלים, הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז. הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו, השתחוו לאדוני בהדרת קודש. כל אדוני על המים אל הכבוד הרעים, אדוני על מים רבים. כל אדוני בכוח, כל אדוני בהדר. כל אדוני שובר ארזים, וישבר אדוני את ארזי הלבנון. וירקידם כמו עגל, לבנון וסריון כמו בן ראמים. כל אדוני חוצב להבות אש, כל אדוני יחיל מדבר, יחיל אדוני מדבר קדש. כל אדוני יחולל איילות, ויחשוף יערות ובהיכלו, כולו אומר כבוד. אדוני למבול ישב, וישב אדוני מלך לעולם. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום.
Yes, yes, yes. Perfect storm. Yes, yes, yes. Needs more calf. Yes, yes, yes. Here. Today's daily psalm needs more kaf tet. Kaf tet. Here we have Psalm 29. Theme, the storm picture. The psalm of the seven thunders. Right here. Today's daily psalm. According to royal order. Yes, I. Here. Today's daily psalm. Let's go over it right here. Going to verse by verse. We have verses 1 to 2, right? 1 to 2, right? The prelude. In verses 1 to 2 is the prelude, today's daily psalm. In verses 3 to 9, we have the seven voices, right? The seven kolot, the seven voices of Yahweh. And in verses 10 to 11, we have Yahweh Eloheinu, Yah, in his majesty and graciousness. Yah, in his majesty and graciousness. So right here, today's daily song. Let's pick up right here with the prelude. The prelude, first two verses right here. Here, the Aleph verse, the first verse right here, including the superscription, Mizmor le David. Mizmor. Psalm, a chant, you can say Isis, Mizmor le of for, Mizmor le for David, Mizmor le David, Mizmor, Psalm of David. Habu, Layahuah, B'nai Elim, Habu, Layahuah, Kabod, Wa'oz. Here, KJV wise, the Psalm of David. Give to Yahweh, O ye, O ye Almighty, give to Yahweh glory and strength. Give your sons of the mighty, sons of the mighty, in the Hebrew sense, not brought out in translation. In translation, KJV, the first verse, King James Version wise, today's daily psalm, Psalm 29, where it says, give, right? Give, the Habu, give y'all from Yahab. Yahab is to give, to provide. Yahab, the root verb, is to ascribe. Can have a place like to come, to give, to set, to place, to provide with, or to ascribe in this sense of ascribing glory, a sense of to grant, to permit, having the sense of come now, right? But to give whether literally or figuratively. Generally, it has a sense of like to put, right? To put, right? In that sense. But brought out in the translation as, right, give to Yahuwah. Some Hebraically look at the Habu, give y'all. It's a command, Habu, give y'all la Yahuwah, to he who be, la Yahuwah. Give la Yahuwah to Jehovah, right? B'nai, sons of Elim, sons of the mighty, the Elim. Some might bring out the sense of the Elim, even as a kind of a sons of God sense, the Elim, the Elim sense, sons of the mighty, right? B'nai Elim. We have B'nai, Ben, El, right? In another sense of, in a plural sense, Elim, sons of the mighty. Some translators actually bring it out as like sons of God, give to Yahuwah, right? Give to Yahuwah. You sons of the gods, you sons of God. The more better Hebraic, you sons of the mighty, right? You sons of the mighty, right? And this is also referring to Yisrael. Remember Yisrael, what the L in Yisrael means? He, Prince of El, one who prevails, who has power with El. So here in today's psalm, where it reads, Habu, give or ascribe, give, Habu, Layahuah, B'nai Elim, give to he who be to Yahuwah, O ye sons of the mighty, sons of the mighty. KJV doesn't translate the B'nai, the sons of. It just says, O ye mighty, O y'all sons of the mighty, B'nai Elim, Habu, give y'all, la Yahuwah, to he who be to Jehovah, Kabod, Va'oz, Kabod, Wa'oz, Kabod, glory, Wa, and Oz, Kabod, Wa'oz, glory and strength, glory and Oz. Oz is strength. Oz, there's a few words in Hebrew that can be translated as power or strength, but Oz is strength in the sense of like material, physical, or personal and social and political. It's important to understand that as we get into a build, right, on the content of the psalm. So here, let's zoom in on what's not brought out in translation fully when it says, O ye mighty, O ye mighty. In the Hebrew, the B'nai, the bens of, the B'nai, constructive sons of, B'nai, sons of, Elim. B'nai Elim, B'nai Elim, B'nai Elim, B'nai Elim, sons of might, the Hebrew sons of the mighty, or even sons of God. This is a double plural of the Hebrew Ben El. In Hebrew, if we say Ben El, like son of the Almighty, to say son of God in the Hebraic sense, Ben El. This here in today's daily psalm, B'nai Elim, is a double plural. The same phrase that occurs in Psalm 89, Hebraically the 7th verse, the 6th, the 7th verse, where there's a parallelism that shows that the so-called angelic hosts are intended, some say, the angelic hosts. So when we look at Psalm 89, Hebraically the 7th verse, perhaps in the KJV, that might be the 6th verse, what's intended by this parallelism is the angelic hosts. The hosts of the angels are intended. They are invoked, some say, to join the terrestrial choir, acknowledging Jehovah's majesty as revealed in the mighty forces of nature, revealed in the mighty forces of the nature. Glory and strength, kabod wa'oz, kabod wa'oz, kabod wa'oz. Glory, kabod, wa and oz, strength. We have this also in Psalm 68. Yes. Psalm 68, right? Psalm 68, round about verse 35 in the Hebrew, might be correspond with verse 34. To the Beit verse, the second verse of today's daily psalm is Mordkaf 8, second verse, right? Second verse, give to Yahweh the glory due to his name. Worship Yahweh in the beauty of holiness. Give to Yahweh the glory due to his name, or Hebraically, the honor. Give to him the honor of his name. The honor of his name. Right? In the beauty of holiness, in his glorious, Hebraically, or glorious sanctuary. Give. Habu la Yahweh, kabod shemo. Hishatachewu la Yahweh bihadarat kodesh. Habu. It's a command here. Habu. Speaking to like y'all, you all. Habu. Give y'all. Yahab y'all. Habu. La Yahweh. La Yahweh. La Yahweh. Habu la Yahweh. Kabod shemo. Kabod shemo. Kabod, glory, that is to say the honor, the kabod, shemo, the honor of shemo. Shemo, to say his name. Kabod, shemo, the honor of his name. Hishtachewu. Some would say hishtavu. Modern Hebrew, hishtavu, right? Hishtachewu, y'all, to worship. To shaha. Shaha is like to bow down, to depress, to humble, to prostrate before the superior in homage, before Yahweh Elohim in worship, to depress in the sense of to prostrate. So we have shaha. Shaha means to bow in that sense, especially reflexively in homage to royalty or to Yahweh Eloheinu, to Elohim. So this sense of worship, sometimes translate over here, we'll say worship. Over there, they say, well, they bow to King David. But if we take the same word in the same sense, they worship King David. But the true sense of shacha is that they prostrated, right? They humble themselves in homage, right, to that royalty, right? The divinic royalty of that government installed by Yahweh Eloheinu. That's the context. Translated to do obeisance or to do reverence, right? To make, to stoop, right? To fall flat, to humble. So here to you all, to those who are being called here, Hishtachewu la Yahweh bihadarat kodesh, in the beauty, hadarat. Hadara means glory, adornments, like holy adornment, like the holy garments is the hadara. Here, the hadarat kodesh, the adornments of holiness, right? Of the kodesh. Notice the kodesh is the holy place. The kodesh in the tabernacle. So hadara is an adornment, a holy adornment of public worship. It's also the glory of a king is hadara. right? Here in the constructive sense of the Hebrew, hadarat would mean the holy adornment of, right? The holy adornment of, the decoration of the Kodesh, of the holy place, or of the sanctuary, right? Of the sanctuary. So how we are to worship, Tishtachu, bow your layahua to Jehovah bihadarata Kodesh, in the beauty or the holy adornments for public worship, in the Kodesh, in the holy place, the beauty of holiness. Again, we have this in Psalm 96, round about the 8th, 9th verse, where it is used of human worshipers. The Hebrew is best translated as in holy adornment, hadara, the hadara, holy adornment, hadarat kodesh, the holy adornment of the holy place. The priests, the kohanim, the priests, anointed priests who ministered in the tabernacle, the Mishkan, according to Exodus chapter 38 and 2, it says they wore holy garments for splendor and beauty. Tifara, tiferet, right? Holy garments for splendor and beauty. And so all would worship Yahweh Eloheinu, Aina Elohim, whether of men on the terrestrial, the earthly plane, or the angels, the messengers, right, in the heavens, all must be suitably attired, right? So here's the idea of in the holy, when it says the congregation that will come forward. In a sense, looking at the size of the tabernacle, not everyone in Yisrael could actually even fit there, right? But it's those who were both ceremonially fit, right, and also properly attired, right? Properly attired. So here, these first two verses is the prelude. It's the call. It's the habu. Habu, give y'all. Habu, give y'all. Here, this brings us right here. Today's Daily Psalm Mizmor Kaf 8 to one of the main sections, verses 3 to 9. The seven kolot, the seven kolot, the seven voices, the seven sounds, the seven voices. Here, picking up the Gimel, third verse, Gamel verse. Kol Yahuwah Allah Mayi El HaKabod Hira'im Yahuwah Al Mayim Rabbi. The voice of Yahuwah upon the waters. The God, El, the Almighty of glory, El HaKabod, El HaKavod, El HaKabod, the El of the Kabod, the El of glory, thunderous. Yahuwah, Jehovah upon many waters, upon great waters, upon, in a sense, enough waters. All Yahuwah, All Hamayim, all the voice, Yahuwah of Jehovah, all up upon all Hamayim. Hamayim. It says Biha alotekha, right? When thou steppest up to cause the lambs to ascend. That word there is from Allah. We have here all. All is like above. All Hamayim. Above the Mayim. Mayim is waters. All Hamayim. All Hamayim. All Yahuwah, all Hamayim. El HaKabod, the El, the Almighty of the glory, the Almighty of honor, of glory. El HaKabod, Hira'im, the sense of thunderous. Yahuwah, he who be, all Mayim, upon waters, Rabin. Notice in the first part it says, Call Yahuwah, the voice of Yahuwah, Al Hamayim, is upon the waters. In the latter part of the verse it says, Yahuwah, Al Mayim, upon waters. One is Al Hamayim. Here we have Al Mayim. Yahuwah Al Mayim, Rabin from Rab. Rab is like to say enough. Rab, Rab means enough, great, many, numerous, the sense of abundance, right? So here we have the Mayim Rabin. So the voice, the sound, the voice, the call means voice, sound, can mean noise, it means voice, like the sound of an instrument is this call, right? To call out, to voice, or to sound. So the voice of Yahweh, of He who be, who He be, Al Hamayim. The thunder is so designated. In Psalm 18, round about verse 14, we get to find that the thunder is so designated. The thunder is designated as being the call, the voice, or the sound of Yahweh. The voice, sound, call Yahweh. So the voice of Yahweh, the thunder, being so designated in the 18th Psalm, Hebraically at the 14th verse. Let's just do this right here. I always like to affirm that. Now the numbering may be different in the numbering is different in the KJV, but it's a verse that reads, Yahweh also thundereth in the heavens, and the Most High gave forth His voice, hailstones and coals of fire. It says, Yahweh also thundereth in the heavens. Wayar'aim b'shamayim Yahweh. Wayar'aim b'shamayim Yahweh. Yahweh also thundereth in the heavens. We'elyon yitain kolo. We'an elyon. And elyon, the Most High, the highest, elyon, yitain kolo. Yitain, He gave kolo. He gave His voice. Hailstones and coals of fire. Barada we gachle eish. Barad, the hill, we and gachle. Gachle is the coals of gachle, the gachle eish. The coals of fire, gachle eish, the coals of fire. So right here, give that designation of the call of Yahweh, referring to the thunders, up upon the waters. Either eyes of the gathering of the waters and the storm clouds of Shemayim, of the heavens, as we have in the 18th Psalm, round about the 12th Hebraic verse, or the sea in the west. The sea in the west, from that direction, the storm usually comes to the Holy Land. So from the sea in the west is the direction that the storm usually comes to the Holy Land. He is called here, this attribute, El HaKavod, the God of glory, the God of honor, El HaKavod, the Almighty of glory, the King of glory. We have it in Psalm 24, Hebraically the 7th verse. Many waters, Mayim Rabim, is the vast waters. Waters, many ones. Al Mayim Rabim. Here, bringing it to the Dalet verse, to the 4th verse right here. All Yahuwah ba Koach. All Yahuwah be Hadar. All Yahuwah, the voice of Jehovah, ba Koach, in power. Here has powerful, in power, in Koach. There's the Ana be Koach. There's the Ana be Koach. Koach is strength as well, can be translated, but it has a Hebrew sense of firm or force, in force, firmness or force, whether in a good sense or a bad sense, but figuratively speaking, ba koach, in capacity. In other words, means and produce, means to produce. All Yahuwah ba koach, all the voice of Yahuwah, be hadar. They translate as full of majesty, be hadar, Hadar, full of majesty, full of, it doesn't have the word full there. It's in Hadar. Hadar is like ornament, splendor, the sense of magnificence, right? Hadar is in magnificence, right? Is in beauty, comeliness. Majesty is a good check right here. So the voice of Yahuwah Ba'Kawah is powerful, right? It has force, firmness of force, capacity. It's full of majesty. So we have Ba'Kawah and Kawah, Hadar, and Hadar, in Hadar. With power, the sentence Hebraically will be with power, Ba'Kawah, and with majesty, Hadar. This is a general description that is defined in the verses. It's going to be defined here, more right here, in the verses that do follow. So right here, Kol Yahuwah Ba'Kawah, Kol Yahuwah Hadar. Here, the Hay verse, 5th verse right here. Kol Yahuwah Shober Arazim. Why Shaber Yahuwah Eta Arzei Ha-Lebanon. Arzei Ha-Lebanon, Ha-Lebanon. The voice of Yahuwah breaketh the cedars. Kol Yahuwah Shober Arazim, the Arazim. His voice, Shober, is a breaker. Shover is a breaker of the Arazim, of the cedars. KJV says, yea, Yahuwah breaketh the cedars of Lebanon. Here it says, why Yishaber, and he breaketh, Yahuwah, and Yahuwah breaketh, why Shaber Yahuwah, Eta Arzei Ha-Lebanon, breaketh the cedars of the Arzei, cedars of the Lebanon, Ha-Lebanon. You don't say Arzei Lebanon or Arzei Lebanon. It says Arzei Ha-Lebanon. Breaketh the cedars of whiteness. Breaketh the cedars. Lebanon means whiteness. Yes, Lebanon means white. The white mountain, Lebanon. Some say in ancient times because there snow, it has snow-capped peaks, right? It is said. So here, the white mountain is being referred to, the northern border of Yisrael. This was also at one time a wooded mountain range on the northern border of Yisrael. But Lebanon means whiteness. So call Yahuwah Shober Arazim, breaketh the Arazim, the cedars. What do we have in the Erez, cedar, Arazim, cedar timber, cedar wood, cedar, the tenacity of its roots. The thing about cedar is its roots, the cedar roots, right? So if his voice can break, is a shober, right? Shober, call Yahuwah Shober Arazim, why Shaber Yahuwah et Arzei Ha-Lebanon, and breaketh the cedars of the whiteness, right? This is used in the Bible as a type of grandeur, might, the cedars, right? The Erazim in the plural sense, right? The cedars, right? As a type of grandeur, might, and lofty stature. It is said that the Erez, the cedar was the prince of trees. The cedar was the prince of trees. It was to the vegetable, right, what the lion was to the animal world. So in ancient times, the cedar was special. Why is the cedar being mentioned here? Because it was the prince of trees. It was to the vegetable, right, kingdom, right, what the lion was to the animal world. The mountain range of the whiteness of Lebanon in the north of the Holy Land was famed for its Arazim, its cedar trees, the cedar wood. And here, the 5th verse, hey, says that his voice, Yahuwah's word sound, breaketh them. All Yahuwah Shober Erazim. Why Shaber Yahuwah Etarze HaLebanon. Lebanon breaketh the cedars of whiteness. And there's a midrash, a reasoning on that. But here, moving forward to the Vav, the wild verse. Wayarik Idem Kamoa Egela Lebanon with Sirion Kamo Ben Re'emi. Here, he maketh them also to skip like a calf. He maketh them also to skip like a calf. Wa Yark Idame, making them skip. Yark Idame, Wa and Yark Idame, and he maketh them Wa Yark Idame a Kamo, causing them to skip Kamo like Egel, like the Egel. Remember the molten calf, the Egel, like a bull calf, the Egel, like a male calf, like frisking around calf, especially one that's nearly grown. That is like a steer, the Egel. Wayark idem kamo Egel. Lebanon, what with Sirion? Lebanon with Sirion. Lebanon with Sirion. Lebanon and Sirion, like a young, here KJV says a young unicorn. Here it says Kamo ben Re'emim. Kamo ben Re'emim. Ben Re'emim. What is this? A wild ox. And Syrian, Lebanon and Syrian, like a wild ox. Like a rame, like the wild bulls. Rame. That's a word for like a wild bull. Rame. Translated there as a unicorn, like the son of the wild bull, like the wild bulls. Ben Re'emim, Kamo, Ben Re'emim. Maketh them. Right? Rakad, in Hebrew, rakad means to skip about. Rakad means to dance, to leap. Rakad means to make skip. Properly, rakad means to stand. That is like to spring about, like to wildly or for joy. Like when one is springing about, jumping, bouncing, wildly or leaping for joy. You can see the calves and the wild ox, be doing that. Here, we have maketh them. The mountains that leapt in terror at the peals of thunder were like these wild bulls, in a sense, according to bringing out the sense of Wayark Idem. Wayark Idem, making them, rakading them. Wayark Idem, Kamo, like Egel, like a calf. Lebanon with Sirion, and Sirion, Kamo, like Ben Re'emim. So Syrian, what about Sirion? Sirion, some bring out the sense of breastplate. Sirion can be like a breastplate. It's one of the names of Mount Hermon. This one was used by the Sidonians. We could say the Canaanites, the Sidonians. The sense of this has a sense of Sirion, sheeted, to be sheeted. That's why it's also like a breastplate, Sirion, to be sheeted, right, with snow. The sense of Sirion, sheeted with snow, from Sirion, Sara. We have Sirion, Sirian, Syria, Siriona, the different forms of the root word. This is body armor. Sirion is body armor. Sirion can also be a weapon and part of the body armor. Some think it might be a lance or a javelin. The sense of this is like turning a corset as if twisted, right? A haber going, a coat of mail, the Sirion sense. But now looking at the mountains, this was like an analogy. This is the ancient name of Mount Lebanon, of the mountains of whiteness, Lebanon. We can see this in Deuteronomy chapter 3, verses 9. The highest mountain in the land, Sirion. Therefore, the verse right here, he maketh them also to skip like a calf, Lebanon and Sirion, like a young wild ox. Wayarik idem kamo egel. Lebanon with Sirion kamo ben Reimim. Here, the Zayn verse, the 7th verse right here. All Yahuwah, Chotzeb, Lahavot Eish. All Yahuwah, Chotzeb, Lahavot Eish. The voice of Yahuwah, all Yahuwah, Chotzeb, from the Hebrew right here, Chatzab. Chatzab means to dig, to cleave, to divide. The sense of dividing right here, to cut or to carve. Like if you use wood, stone, or other material, the implication is to hew, to split, to square, to quarry, to engrave, right? The sense of it, but brought out here as dividing, right? All Yahuwah, Chotzev. The voice of Yahuwah is a divider, Chotzev. All Yahuwah, Chotzev, Lahavot, Lahava or Lahaba, Lahabet. Sometime in modern Hebrew, they pronounce it as Lahava. In Wombmen of Rastafari, we say lava, Lahaba, a soft B, Lahava is a flame. Flames, like the flames, Lahava is flame, lava. Tip of a weapon, lava, Lahava. A point. Head of the spear, lava, Lahava. The meaning comes from the root word lahab. Lahab, it means to flame as a verb. To blade. It's like a flashing point, a flash point. The flash point of a spear or a blade of a sword, right? So it's almost like a weapon when the weapon flashes, right? That flash of it, right? But the sense of, in another way, concerning fire, it's like the flame of fire, because the flames tend to gleam, they flash. They're like blades, they're like points of a weapon. So what we have right here is that the voice of Yahuwah, all Yahuwah Chotzev, Lahavot Eish, Lahavot, the flames of Lahabot, the flames of Eish, the flames of fire, the lava is of fire, Lahavot Eish, flames of fire, Lahavot Eish, from Lahava, lava, flames of fire. So his voice cutteth, Chotzev, cutteth what? It cutteth the flames, Lahavot of the fire. The forked lightnings, looking at, the storm, the forked lightnings, you see the lightning forks that shoot through the dark mass of the clouds, according to the idiom of the Hebrew, is what is likely pointed to here. So the call Yahuwah Chotzev Lahavot Eish is the forked lightnings that shoot through the dark mass of the clouds. Here, the Chet, the 8th verse right here, today's daily psalm, Mizmor Kaf Tet. Here we have the Chet, we have the 8th verse. All Yahuwah, Yachil Midbar, Yahuwah Midbar Kadesh. The voice of Yahuwah, all Yahuwah, shaketh the wilderness. Yachil Midbar, Midbar of the Midbar. All Yahuwah, Yachil Midbar. Yahuwah shaketh, he who be, shaketh the wilderness of Kadesh. Yachil, Yahuwah, Midbar, Kadesh, the Midbar of the Kadesh. Here, Yachil, shaketh, from Chul and Chil. Chul and Chil in Hebrew means to twist, to whirl, to dance, to rise, to fear in a sense of like to travail, to twist, to turn, to whirl about. It also has a sense of to rise, like when a woman in birth in travail, to bear forth, to bring forth children, to twist, that twisting motion, that kind of a spin. It can mean to wait anxiously, but there's a sense of this meaning like to bear, but it has a little sense of to whirl about, to spin, to spiral in a circular or a spiral motion, to chul and also to chil. So it says yachil, yachil. His voice causes the circular motions, the spiral of the sacred geometry, that sacred geometrical spiral motion. His voice causes that twist, that whirl. It's like a dance or even rising in pain, especially of parturition or giving birth. So here, all Yahuwah Yachil Midbar, Yachil Yahuwah Midbar Kadesh, the wilderness of Kadesh, the Midbar of Kadesh. We encounter it here, the Torah readings in Midbar, known as Numbers, or in the wilderness, the fourth book of Moshe, also in Devarim. Also, we encounter it in Deuteronomy, the wilderness of Midbar. In Numbers chapter 20, verse 16, point of reference, Numbers chapter 20, verse 16. Now note this, that Hebraically, the fourth book called the book of Numbers, it's called the Sefer Bamidbar, the Sefer in the wilderness, the scroll in the wilderness. Notice the connection here. Call Yahuwah, Yachil Midbar, Yachil Yahuwah Midbar Kadesh. So here, we have the Midbar of Kadesh, the wilderness of Kadesh. The storm sweeps from the mountains in the north to the desert, the Midbar in the Negev in the south. So come from the north, right, to the south. The Kadesh, which also links with holy. It later on in the land, it was a city in the extreme of the south of Judah. The same also is called Kadesh in the English, or Kadesh Barnea. Kadesh Barnea was a spot that we learn more about in Bamidbar, in the wilderness, or in the fourth book of Moses, known as the book of Numbers. To the next verse right here, the eighth verse, the ninth verse right here. Today's daily psalm, a storm picture, right? That picture, right, of the seven thunders right here. All Yahuwah, Yecholel Ayalot, Wayechesofa, Ye'arota, Uabehekalo, Kulo, Omer, Kavod. Here, KJV brings it out as the voice of Yahuwah, the Lord, maketh the hinds to calve, and discovereth the forest. And in his temple doth everyone speak glory. Speak of kavod, honor, kavod, glory, gravity. Kavod is glory in the scriptural sense of gravity, weight, honor, reverence. Kavod, speak of kavod, right? Here, to calf is to be in pain, right? The calf, to be in pain, doth every wit utter. Couple key things we have right here. The hinds to calf. All Yahuwah Yecholel Ayalot. Yecholel Ayalot. Some say they repoint this here by a kind of a repointing. This can be pointed to be the voice of Yahuwah, maketh the large trees tremble, right? Maketh the large trees tremble. Because we have the ayalot, right? In one sense, referring to the trees, right? The ayalot or the alot. There's the ayalot, the same letters, and the alot, right? The ayalot, right? And the alot. So when we're talking about the calves, right? Now, not the calves, the hinds, the ayalot, the ayalot. When we talk about the trees, the large trees, the God trees, is the elot. Elot. Elot are the God trees, the large trees, and the ayalot are the hinds, the does, the deers, the female deers. Doe, a deer, a female deer. We have the ayala. Ayala singular, ayalot. Causes them to yecholel. Yecholel. Causes them to calve. Remember when it says yachil? Yachil, right? To shaketh, yachil, or to twirl, to turn, to spin, to give birth. In a sense, that circular motion. Here brings out the fuller sense of to calve in the context of to be in pain. Like to almost to be in the traverses, the travail of childbirth. So this is another important thing about pointing, right? In Hebrew, if we say elot, elot is the trees. So the sense of this, is the trees, right? Elot, right? In the sense of the ayalot, ayalot is speaking of the hinds. So the hinds, ayalot, right? Yecholel, ayalot, right? This actually is said to happen during a violent storm when terror causes animals to bring forth their young prematurely. Prematurely, right? Can cause animals, the thunder and the lightning can cause animals to, prematurely, in that sense, to prematurely give birth, right? If we now vocalize it, as the elot, speaking about the God trees, the strong trees, it causes them to tremble. Even, the strong oak trees are like so strong, so thick. They got such a thick base, such a thick tree. That's where the Holy Trinity, Hashalush HaKadosh, met Abraham, right? The Holy Three in his house, he was by that tree. Not the plain of Mamre, but the tree, right? The ayalot, the ayal, the strong tree, the God tree. So it's interesting right there, they're there in the kind of the duality of the reading there. Because the next part of the verse, it says this right here. It says, why yechesof, why ye'arot, why and yechesof, yechesof from chasaf. Chasaf means to strip off, to lay bare, to strip off. So KJV, when KJV translates it and says, and discovereth the forest, discovereth, basically strips the forest bare. Wa yechesof ya'arot. Wa and yechesof, and he strippeth and strippeth ya'arot. The Ya'ara is a forest. Ya'ara is like a forest. So his voice can cause like the deer to go into labor, the animals to give birth, and also strips. Discover the forest is actually a poetical way of saying strippeth the forest bare, makes it naked, in that sense of discovers, right? Discovers the forest nakedness, but what's really happening is being stripped, right? The voice, word, sound. Wa yechesof ye'arota ubehekalo, and vehekalo, and in his hekal is temple, his palace, hekalo, ubehekalo, in his temple, kulo, all of them, kulo, to say all of them, kulo, when it says like everyone, right? It says like in his temple doth everyone speak. The sense of like all, to say kulo, right, is like call mean all. Call, not to be confused with call. One has the kaf, the K, it's call, like all. The other one has the Q, it's call. His voice is the Q, special K, call. But when we say kulo, all, right? All of them, omer, all of them become sayers. all of them sayers. Kulo Omer, Omer sayer. Kavod, become a sayer of Kavod, Kavod. So what we have right here, strippeth the forest, discovereth through the falling away of branches and leaves under the battering of wind and rain. His temple, Heikalo, his Heikal, the heavenly region where the angels, right, higher messengers called upon to witness this awe-inspiring spectacle, unanimously exclaimed. So I on earth below and the angels in heaven above, Kulo, his temple, right? And in the fuller picture, it's like creation. When he does this in creation, the whole creation, his creation is like his temple, right? You know, and also in his temple in the Brit Hadasha sense, his temple. Uva hekalo, kulo omer kavod, 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 kavod. Modern Hebrew, kavod, kavod. His glory, his honor, his veritableness, his gravity, right? In the biblical sense of gravity, to say weight, honor, heaviness, seriousness, glory, right? To express their inner vibe, their true vibe, and that feeling of wonderment, that awe-inspiringness. Yeshaya, Isaiah, chapter 6, verse 3. Yes, Chabarim. Isaiah chapter 6, verse 3. We're inspired just to go here, just a KJV reflection. Chapter 6, Isaiah, Yeshaya, chapter 6, verse 3. What does it say? Chapter 6, verse 3. And one crieth to another. And one did what? One cried to another and said, Kadosh, 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 Yahuwah Sabaoth. Holy, holy, holy is he who be of armies of hosts. The heavenly hosts, his earthly hosts, the host of heaven, right? Creation, his hosts, the whole earth, the whole land is full of kavodo, kabodo, his glory, kabod. Here, to fulfill today's daily psalm, right here, we have the Yod verse, the 10th verse, and the 11th verse. This closing section, Yahuwah, Jehovah, HAILE, the Elohim, true good, true God, in his majesty and his graciousness. Here, the Yod verse, the Yud verse, the 10th verse, here. Yahuwah, La Mabul, Yashab, Wayesheb Yahuwah, Meleka Le'olam. Yahuwah, Jehovah sitteth upon upon the flood. Yahuwah, La Mabul, the Mabul, for the Mabul, on the Mabul. The Mabul is the floods, like the Mabul. Mabul, like the deluge, the flowing, the sense of flowing, the deluge, the floods. Yahuwah, La Mabul, Yashab, Yashab, he sitteth, he who be, sat enthroned at the flood. Bringing out the Hebrew sense of this as well. Yahuwah La Mabul, Yashab. Yahuwah, Jehovah sat enthroned at the flood, for the deluge. Yahuwah La Mabul, Yashab, Wayesheb. And he sitteth, and he is enthroned, and he sitteth, Wayesheb, Yahuwah, and Yahuwah, he sitteth, Melech Le'olam. Melech Le'olam. He sitteth king Le'olam. Now here's what's interesting. The Olam also is like the word for world, but Olam also Hebraically can mean till time indefinite, till indefinite time. Therefore, the English sense of forever, right? Sitteth king Le'olam, of long duration, antiquity, futurity, right? Whether in the ancient past, he sitteth, and in the future to come, he sitteth to time indefinite or forever. Melech Le'olam, Yahuwah La Mabul Yashab, Wayesheb Yahuwah Melech Le'olam. The storm now in the context of the narrative here has subsided. The psalmist and I can meditate upon the Numen and the Phenumen, the phenomenon. It first right here recalls all of this that's going on, the 7 thunders, 7 voices, Yahweh's voice 7 times, and the storm. It recalls to him the flood, the deluge, the flood that once overwhelmed the earth in Bereshith, in Genesis chapter 6. Genesis chapter 6. Therefore, Yahuwah la Mabul, for the Mabul, for the flood, like even the flood that's called Noah's flood, Yahuwah la Mabul, Yashab. He sitteth upon it. He is enthroned at this event horizon. A revelation of his retributive justice. His retributive justice. Therefore, in the second part of the verse, Wayasheb. So first we have Yashab, he sat, Wayasheb, and he sits. He who be, who he be. He sat then, right? He was sitting, he is sitting, and will be sitting. Wayasheb, Yahweh, and sitteth. How he sitteth? Melech le'olam. He sitteth as Melech, as king. Negus, right? As king, le'olam. Sitteth as king forever. In the Hebrew, also as eternal king, right? Sitteth as king eternally. To time indefinite. Melech le'olam. King forever. As he was the judge, Shofet, the judge in that remote period of human story, of the human story of history, so is he always. Yashab Wayasheb. He is always enthroned, always sitting, always holding the final decision on the fate of the world in his hand. So this is a better sense of he is in control in that sense. He sat then and he sits now forever. Melech le'olam. Here to the final verse, the Yod Aleph, the 11th verse right here. Yahuwah oz le'amo, yitain Yahuwah yebarek et amo ba shalom. Yahweh Jehovah will give strength to his people. Yahuwah oz le'amo yitain. Right? Yahuwah oz le'amo yitain. Giveth strength. Now remember the oz is might, strength, material or physical, but in the Hebrew context, it's like that personal or social and political strength to amo, even amo Yisrael. Force, security, right? In that sense, right? That influence of strength, that oz. Yahuwah oz, strength. Amo, for his people, yitain, he gives. Yahuwah will bless his people with peace. Yahuwah yevarek. Yahuwah, he who be, yevarek. He will bless. Yevarek et amo. He will bless amo, his people. Yahuwah yevarek et amo v'shalom. With peace, in shalom, in peace. With peace, shalom. Shalom is very, very interesting. Shalom, Hebraically, is completeness, soundness, welfare in the complete sense, right? Tranquility, health, wealth, peace in your soul, in your spirit, in your soul, in your body, right? In your health, also that shalom in your wealth as well, that complete baraka, right here. Once again, Yahuwah Oz Le'amo Yitain. Yahuwah Yivareka Et Amo Bashalom. Not only in the infinite might of Yahuwah Eloheinu called to mind, not only is the infinite might called to mind, bring it to remembrance, to meditate by such an experience, but also his grace, the graciousness, the symphony that had swelled to almost an ear-shattering crescendo. It ends and fulfills right here, today's daily psalm, Mizmor Kaf 8. It ends and fulfills here in the softest pianissimo. You know, the crescendo is a loud sound, building up, crescendo, reaching that high height, shattering, ear-shattering. Just think about that revelation on Har Sinai, Mount Sinai, right? And then it fulfills here, after the storm calming, roughly around verse 10, right? Bringing us here to conclusion verse, right? Beginning the symphony of the creation, the thunder, the lightning, the storm, and the voice, right? To the higher height, ear-shattering crescendo, fulfilling here with the softest pianissimo. Now, pianissimo in the Latin basically means it's a musical instruction of quiet, of quietness, softly, going quietly. Yahuwah Oz Le'amo Yitain. Yahuwah Yibarek Et Amo Bashalom. Here. Today's daily psalm, according to the royal order, right here. On the outro level right here to keep in mind today's daily psalm right here. And see where we have it right here. Here. Yes. Where is that song? I saw it right here. Chant. All right. Don't know why it's not coming up right here. But you know, on the outro, we'd like to give you this right here on the outro. Yes, I, Rastafari, Hebrew, double.
The Lord will bless his people with peace.
מזמור כ"ט, מזמור לדוד. הבו לאדוני בני אלין, הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז. הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו, ישתחוו לאדוני בהדרת קודש. כל אדוני על המים, אל הכבוד הרעים. אדוני על מים רבים. כל אדוני בכוח, כל אדוני בהדר. כל אדוני שובר ארזים, וישבר אדוני את ארזי הלבנון. וירקידם כמו עגל, לבנון וסיריון כמו בן רעמים. כל אדוני חוצב להבות אש. כל אדוני יחיל מדבר, יחיל אדוני מדבר קדש. כל אדוני יחולל איילות, ויחשוף יערות ובהיכלו, כולו אומר כבוד. אדוני למבול ישב, וישב אדוני מלך לעולם. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו ושלום, 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 ושלום,
Yes. Yahuwah Oz Le'amo Yitain. Yahuwah Yibarek Et Amo Bashalom. Hashem Yeshua Shalom, brothers and sisters. Leila Tov, a good night, Boker Tov, a new day. You know, and in Yeshua Shalom and his peace, may he bless the eye and keep the eye and I. Yeshua Shalom, Chabarim. Yes, I, Rastafari, and I. Shalom.